This is the 2022 facelift of the third generation BMW X3, and in this video I will be telling you about the 3 exciting things about this new and updated SUV. My name is Akash Paul, you're watching Express Drives, and without any further ado, let's begin the video. The first exciting thing about the new X3 is its design. Now, you would think that not a lot has changed, and you would be right in thinking that. However, the designers at BMW have managed to make slight tweaks which elevate this model of the X3 over the outgoing one. For example, the lines on the bonnet are more pronounced than before. The kidney grille is bigger but still proportionate compared to the rest of the body. The adaptive LED headlamps now have fog lamp functionality embedded in them, which means that the bumper is cleaner to look at. There are air curtains at the front with a glossy black finish. Over at the side, you will see the glossy black and silver 19-inch alloy wheels, which look quite smart and come with 245 section rubber on them. The prominent shoulder line is accompanied by a sharp crease lower down on the doors and nice looking side skirts. And then coming to the back, you will again notice these sharp lines and creases augmented by this 3D tail lamp unit, which now gets a black border, and that really complements the overall design philosophy, the black bits we've seen at the front and at the side, and it gives the rear of the 2022 X3 a nice sporty look. Another thing that adds a sporty touch to the vehicle are these exhaust pipes. These are quite big and they are not fake. Altogether, I'm very pleased by the tasteful changes made by the designers at BMW to this 2022 model. And thank God it does not get that ginormous grille at the front. You see, it's the little things that make life that much better. Okay, so let's begin by taking these off because I'm inside the car and won't be needing them, and talk about the second exciting thing about the 2022 X3. It is this 12.3-inch display and also this 12.3-inch display. Yes, you get dual 12.3-inch screens. One of them is your touchscreen infotainment unit with the usual connectivity features and a whole host of options on it. The touch response is smooth as you would expect, and also this big fully digital multi-information display, which again has some amount of customization and shows you all the relevant information related to the car. This definitely makes the X3 feel a lot more modern, a lot more tech savvy. Apart from that, you do get all the usual features and the fit and finish quality that you would expect from a BMW or a vehicle from this segment. I especially like this wooden trim on the dashboard and on the doors as well. What I did miss, however, was a wireless charger because my phone does support wireless charging, not bragging. And not only is there an absence of a wireless charger, but the front pocket right here, this cubby hole, cannot even accommodate my phone fully, and this is not a very big phone. So that was a little disappointing to see. And apart from that, you don't even get front ventilated seats. The 3-zone climate control does a great job of cooling the cabin, but sometimes you do feel that maybe ventilated seats would have been better, especially considering the soaring temperatures that Delhi is reaching these days. Now, to talk about the third exciting feature, well, we have to drive the car. In terms of the engine and the gearbox, you get the same setup that was there in the outgoing model. So in this diesel vehicle, you have a 2-liter 4-cylinder diesel motor with twin turbochargers, and it makes a maximum power of 188 bhp and a peak torque of 400 Newton meters. So, like I said, the figures, the configuration hasn't really changed, but this is quite enough for a vehicle of this size, a vehicle in this price bracket. The torque kicks in quite early in the rev band, around 1700 RPM. So that means that there's not a lot of dead zone before the turbo spools up, or before you get that kick, you get that punch when you put the accelerator to the floor. You also have paddle shifters, which means that you can take control of the 8-speed gearbox. I did find that the performance was slightly sluggish. The gearbox takes about half a second to take the input and bring it into action. However, I think the normal drive mode, if you put it in sport, we are in Eco Pro right now, so if you put it in sport, the character immediately changes. Even the suspension character is different. Now, talking of suspension, the 2022 X3 gets adaptive suspension system, which means that the suspension is electronically controlled and it can adjust itself automatically depending on the terrain that you are on, or your speed, or the conditions that you subject the X3 to. What this results in is a very pleasant drive over smaller potholes and bumps, and then when you're on smooth tarmac like we are right now, then the car lends you a lot of stability and a lot of confidence, and this is helped by the differential locks at the back and the wide 245 section rubber on all four corners, because the grip from these tires is pretty great, and the steering response initially, it feels slightly vague, slightly artificially heavy, but as you push the car, you realize that the car adapts to the more aggressive driving style, and the steering wheel allows you a bit more direct control when you're throwing it in a corner at a faster pace. And even the suspension setup aids you in that. It does not unsettle the car, it helps you point the car in the right direction and keep it there. The car gets all the usual safety aids that you would expect, and it also gets front parking sensors. Even though it does not get a 360-degree camera, it does get front parking sensors, which do help you when you are trying to get this car in and out of tight spots. My one complaint with the vehicle though is that sometimes when you are going over a really bad bump or a sharp speed breaker, the damping is not up to the mark. You do feel that, you know, the vehicle crashes into them. It's not too unpleasant, but considering the suspension setup that we have with this vehicle, I was expecting a little more cushioning. Altogether, when you are driving at slow speeds like I am right now, ambling around in the city in a calm and sedate manner, yes, the car can look deceivingly simple and not that impressive, but once you press down on the pedal and show this X3 some twisties, it does come into its own element, and it does surprise you with the amount of agility and the handling prowess that it hides beneath that calm composure. At the start of the year, when BMW brought in just the petrol versions of the updated X3, I'm sure a lot of diesel enthusiasts were waiting for something like this. So, was it worth the wait? And does this new X3 impress us? Well, it definitely does. It's never not fun to drive a Beamer, and so is the case with this. The diesel engine is pretty good, it works well in the city and goes fast when you put your foot down. In terms of equipment also, it's quite decently packed and looks great in my opinion. Now, when we come to the pricing, well, this one costs 65.5 lakh ex-showroom, which means that it is quite decently priced when you compare it to the rest of the competition. So, if you are someone who's looking for a diesel-powered SUV in this segment, then this is definitely one of the better picks in the segment. However, considering that just by paying 40,000 rupees more, you can get your hands on the top of the line X30i M Sport variant of the X3, well, that makes things a little interesting, doesn't it? So, that was our quick review of the 2022 BMW X3, the diesel model. If you like this video, you know what to do. And if you have any questions regarding this vehicle, then you can put them down in the comments below. Follow us on all our social media platforms to stay updated with the latest happenings of the automotive world and to catch more reviews and features like this one. Until the next time, this is Akash Paul signing off. Bye-bye.